Hello, welcome to this edition of Ring Takes, episode 31. Of course, I'm joined by Brian and Lewis. Of course, thank you guys for joining me as always. Um, let's get into it. Of course, this is episode 31. We're going to be talking about the final send off for Bray Wyatt, the tributes that happened this weekend. All in recap with a whole bunch of controversy to talk about there and talk about the show. And then we're going to get into our WWE Payback predictions. But first, let's start off with Bray Wyatt. Um, Tributes around wrestling this weekend. Of course, we did our Raw show last week, just talking about the memories that we had of him, the pouring out of, of memories of Bray Wyatt. What do you guys think about the tribute shows that went on, and of course the little tributes at AEW and stuff like that? Especially with the House of Black, I like what they did when they came in, but we'll get into that. But what do you guys think about the tribute shows and the overall showing of love for Bray Wyatt around the wrestling universe?
Well, I will say that tribute video that they showed at the very beginning was probably one of the most somber, sad tributes I've ever seen. I mean sad in the sense that when you see all the backstage photos, like the fact that the hug that he gave to the Undertaker after their WrestleMania 31 match, and all these backstage moments that you never really get a good chance to see with a character like his and how creative he was. It definitely shows the amount of love that the company has for him, and then the outpouring of support that he received on Twitter from various companies definitely shows that. Throughout the show, when they had the QR code up and they were like kind of like breaking down every aspect of his
That was cool. That
career.
was cool.
Yeah, starting from the original Wyatt family all the way to the very end. I definitely love those highlights. I really do love the fact that they kind of took the person who he had his last match with, who's their arguably their hardest star right now, and put him in the main event as a result. I definitely love that creativity, and I love LA Knight's promo, kind of trying to kind of flip the story in a sense, because he was the heel in that story. I still remember when before the Royal Rumble, the last Raw before the SmackDown before the Royal Rumble, where he came out imitating Bray Wyatt, who had the Wyatt outfit on, walking just like him and such.
Mhm.
So I definitely love the promo that he cut, and using Bray Wyatt's catchphrases to kind of I guess respond
Tie
to
in.
the respond to
Mhm.
the Miz. I know we'll get into that match, Daniel. Miz is one of your favorite opponents of all time. But we'll get into that. But as far as the tribute goes, it was a great show. I loved how they coupled that along with Terry Funk, with Cody's promo about Terry as well. So
Mhm.
it was definitely like I said, it was a very somber tribute. And one thing I could take away from it is I love how, like, professional wrestling as a whole is like a community. As far as us as fans go, them as superstars, people who've grown up in the wrestling business. And I say that from the sense of, soon when Bray Wyatt passed away, I mean, you had like people from other companies like the NWA, AEW, companies he never worked for, but they all came together, and they gave him a tribute and gave condolences to his family. It really shows like the how strong the community is within professional wrestling. Has its negative
Mhm.
points, which we'll get into later, but for the most part, as everybody coming together when one of your fellow wrestlers passes away, it's definitely something that you want to see. So from that standpoint, I kind of, like I said, trying to get over. I'm still trying to process the fact that Bray Wyatt is no longer with us, but definitely love the outpouring of love through the tributes that we saw.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely piggybacking off of that, it's, you know, great outpour and support for somebody who, you know, created such an various versions of an iconic character, and to see and hear so many stories, and um, just like, obviously we only know the character that we see on TV, but actually
Mhm.
getting to know more of who the person was and what he was about, and how he was someone that would take the time to teach somebody, if they were new, or even somebody who might even be a veteran and hasn't done something. I think the Becky
Mhm.
story was pretty cool. Like, teaching her how to actually like pull out a table, which obviously isn't normal that you see too many women pulling out tables.
Yeah.
Her just saying like, he took like he was busy getting ready for a match and he still took the time to like give me all the tips and tricks on how to do something. And
Mhm.
I love seeing those type of things. I sent something earlier in the chat where it was just like, I remember when Eddie passed, and
Mhm. Yep.
that one
Mhm.
hurt. That one hurt me a lot. This one,
Mhm.
I mean, it hurt too because Bray was definitely one of my favorite um, modern day wrestlers, but Eddie was a big hit, and I feel like, and I think that what I said was like, and this generation hasn't had like an act like, yeah, obviously there's wrestlers that have passed, but an active
Mhm.
wrestler hasn't passed in a long time. And you know to see everybody come together and be like, hurt, and you know and just coming together and being like, wow, like this person like did so much for us, made us feel certain ways, and just
Mhm.
gave their body and and everything to this business. And all we can do is be grateful and thankful for that. And I thought the video packages were great. Like Brian
Mhm.
said, the
Mhm.
stuff with the Undertaker, I always felt that was kind of like a passing of the torch when we saw that whole little like, hey, it's like it's your turn, kid, or whatever. So
Mhm. Mhm.
um,
When he whispered to him,
we've talked about how we always kind of felt like that mystique of like an Undertaker esque character was right there with Bray.
Mhm.
I don't want to dive back into all that stuff, but definitely, just great to see like who he was, and definitely grateful to have seen him perform. And it's a sad time, but all we can do is celebrate his life.
Mhm. Yeah, well said, guys. Just piggybacking off what you guys are saying, basically, I'll start with what Lewis said with the Eddie Guerrero passing. That was kind of like our first wrestler that we knew, like passing in that manner, like British Bulldog, Owen Hart. Those we felt, of course, but that was a little bit before our time when they passed away. Um, Eddie was that first guy that we really knew, like, hey, like this is our guy. We've seen different iterations of him, and now we got to see the whole freshness of Bray Wyatt and what he brought to the table, and the overwhelming support showing for him and his family, and as you guys said, the behind the scenes stuff where you see who he was as a person, get a little insight to who he really was, and um, all the tributes, of course, and of course the video packages. I can't speak enough. WWE, however they do it, however fast they do it, however they pull it together in like a short amount of time, they were able to do so, and they were able to put together a story that makes you feel ties to the person well beyond wrestling and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
there's always a personal touch with those type of stories there. And then just to go to the tributes there with the Street Profits coming out and saying he's got the whole world in his hands, the camera. Um, LA Knight saying you better run in his promo to the Miz, like all those little things like there just added a little bit personal touch, and everybody. And as LA Knight said, he was like, "We're not. I'm not going to sit here and act like we were the best of friends or anything like that." But basically saying like he's one of us. Like he's a wrestler. He's a professional wrestler. He comes out here every night for years, puts his body on the line and stuff of that nature. And he's like, he's one of us, and we're gonna miss him head to toe. I love the House of Black coming out in All In with the lantern and putting it down in solidarity for Bray Wyatt. So it's just like you just think about the arm patches from everybody.
Mhm.
Bray, I think somebody else had Brody on their arm as well.
Mhm.
And you think
Yeah, that
about
was
those ties again as
that was
well.
Dax. Yeah,
Yeah, Dax Harwood. So
yeah.
it's just dope to see the emotional support and how many people Bray Wyatt touched, all the people that it's like a 6 degrees of separation. Like you got people in different promotions paying tributes and stuff like that. So it's just awesome to see that and kind of putting a bow on it. Not necessarily like a goodbye forever, but it's kind of like we acknowledge this person as who he was as a wrestler, as a man, as a family man, father, and just so much more to the wrestling community. So that was awesome to see, man. That was definitely awesome to see. No question about it. Um, but we can get into our next part of everything here. AEW All In recap here. my first AEW pay-per-view watching fully, like not just catching bits and pieces of a match. I actually took the time to watch every minute of this show, and I can say it was a nice, solid show. I enjoyed it. Of course, we'll get into it. Of course, when we get to the Stampede match, some parts I was grossed out by, but but
That was a
overall,
good spot.
overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show despite all that. But I've thoroughly enjoyed AEW All In. Of course, they went to London, the UK, selling out, I think, just over 81,000 fans, which is impressive for AEW to go over to and do. To gain that type of market, to get that type of fan base. I thought the atmosphere was crazy. Of course, those UK fans are crazy. I thought the entrances were cool. I thought the walkway in was kind of cool with the video around them. Kind of reminds me of like old WWF stuff and like Super Bowl stuff with the weekend and stuff like that. So just the presentation I thought was top notch. I thought everything was pretty good. But what do you guys think about that? It's, of course, we're going to get into the CM Punk controversy with Jack Perry and Tony Khan and various reports of that. We could start there with the CM Punk controversy, actually, because all that stuff is kind of overshadowing the show and All In, which was a pretty good show. I thought it was a pretty good show. Everyone thought it was a pretty decent show. And for all these stories to just start trickling out again right before All Out, where the last controversy happened. So what do you guys think about CM Punk's recent events over the past 72 hours?
All right, Daniel, I need you to repeat something for me. How many fans sold out Wembley Stadium again?
81,000 plus.
81,000 plus. Your biggest show ever. 81,000 plus. Are we talking about the quality of the show? How long has it been? 4 or 5 days? 3 or 4 days later? Are we talking about the quality of the show? Are we talking about how MJF and Adam Cole was a story masterpiece in the main event? Are we talking about the quality of Chris Jericho and Will Ospreay in their match? Are we even talking about how grotesque the Stadium Stampede match was?
We touched on it a little bit.
People maybe touched on it a little bit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about another backstage controversy evolving their biggest draw. Again, this is what we're talking about. Now, like you said, Daniel, there have been various reports as to exactly what happened. All we know for sure, based upon what I've read, all we know for sure is we know who was involved, and we know who's suspended now. And we kind of know for sure now what it was kind of about. So my interpretation of all this is pretty much that I guess Jack Perry wanted to film a glass spot on Collision. He signed off. Somebody in the office signed off on it. We don't know who. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what that situation is. He comes to Collision ready to film it, and I guess apparently CM Punk was the one that put the kibosh on it, pretty much stating that the whole point of Collision is to be different from Dynamite, to be more wrestler focused, and he felt that doing the glass spot went against Collision in a sense, being that it was a grotesque spot. Now, I don't know if CM Punk is the executive producer of Collision or what that situation is, but if he's just a worker, just a regular worker like everybody else,
let me use head booker.
Unless he's the head booker, producer, or whatever. Yes, he's the biggest draw on the show, but that essentially means you have more value than another guy. But you're pretty much you're an independent contractor wrestler, just like Jack Perry is. So you may have some pull, but to put the kibosh on something that apparently was signed off on, I can see from Jack Perry's standpoint why he ended up doing what he did on the pre-show with the match with Hook, doing the glass spot, then looking in the camera and saying it's real glass, Crimea River, which then allegedly when he came through the curtain, Punk came up to him and said do we have a problem? And then everything escalated from there. We don't know who started. We don't know who threw the first punch. Some people are saying Punk was the aggressor. Other people are saying it was Jack Perry that was the aggressor. We don't know. All we know is that there was an altercation and Tony Khan suspended them. And now CM Punk is going to miss All Out in Chicago.
Is that confirmed? Like he's going to miss it?
No, that's confirmed. Like they suspended. Like I haven't watched. I watched the first hour of Dynamite, and I watched the beginning of beginning when they showed the highlights. They didn't even show. I don't even think they showed CM Punk's match. So I think they went right into the first thing they showed was the 6-man tag right after. So he's suspended. so him and Jack Perry are suspended. That's official. Even Sports Illustrated reported on it. So
my whole thing about it is.
Daniel, before you continue, I just want to just throw this in there before you go, because I mentioned just previously in the Bray Wyatt tribute about how about pro wrestling, how it's a community, and how sometimes death bring everybody closer together. So you would think with that mindset, the fact that 2 days before we lost Bray Wyatt, and then the day before that we lost Terry Funk, you would think that like some petty bullshit like that could be put to the side for the better. As far as coming from Jack Perry's standpoint, for him to say what he said. So, but in this case, it doesn't. And now the greatness of the show has been overvalued by some petty bullshit that literally need to happen, don't want it to happen, and I'm actually so pissed about it because I'm tired of reading the fucking reports about what happened. Every day it's a new story. Every day it's a new person. Every day it's a new wrinkle, and I don't even care to tell it anymore because it's bullshit.
like see,
go ahead, Lewis. You can go ahead. Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm going further and further away from the CM Punk wagon. Mind you, when the rumblings of him coming back, I was so excited. I'm like, oh shit, he's coming back, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not saying he's, in this situation, he's the one who started it, blah, 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 but why is it that he's always a central part to every one of these situations? And I think that's where it kind of sways people's perception. And I think even swayed me a little bit. I'm like, this guy just has to have beef with everybody. And I'm like, the fact that we've gotten to a point where they literally made another show, and that's where the only place he can be.
I need to mention that
we're still getting more of this bullshit. It's just like you just had your WrestleMania, probably bigger than a WrestleMania, and this is the focus. Like you
want to know
literally every time taking away from the product.
If they were like WWE and committed to the brand split,
they're not committed to the brand split. See, LA Knights everywhere.
Exactly. And Daniel, and the comment on that. Daniel, the comment on that because you mentioned WWE. Now, I know for a fact that issues like this probably do happen in WWE.
And you don't hear nothing about it.
Like for example, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins apparently had their little issues when they had their feud before Cody got hurt, and we didn't even hear about it until they both started talking about it in their own podcasts. So so it really makes you ask the question, like, for Tony Khan, like, when are you gonna actually step up as an owner to prevent shit like this from happening? I mean, you gotta be more of a leader. I mean, I know these guys are your friends, but this is your company. I don't think Tony Khan has the power to prevent it from happening. Yes, this time around, obviously he should learn from what happened with the first incident, and I think it's good that we didn't have to wait however freaking long, month or whatever after, to be like, oh, they're suspended. Oh, there's an investigation. No, like, they're both suspended. We'll have an investigation. We'll go from there. This whole investigation shit is just like, it should not drag on for as long as it did. Obviously, people were around this, saw it. The fact that the new internet articles.
I heard reports that he was in it. I heard he got in the middle of it.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
All these stories.
And this is the thing, and I think something that I don't know if it was. I forget who mentioned it at the last incident with Punk and the Elite, or it's just like, the fact that all this info gets out is because people are letting out what they want to let out. They're like, oh, we got inside resources. No, it's because you're actually letting out this information. And if this all would have kept backstage crap, which obviously wasn't even that big of an incident.
Apparently, it wasn't that to that degree of what they're saying.
Not to the magnitude of the last
it was
one.
an altercation. Something happened, but it wasn't like it was like an MMA fight. It wasn't to that level.
It's just like, you telling me guys who fucking fight for a living aren't gonna get in arguments at one point, and it's just like, why does this have to be the entire news media cycle and take away from what was just an amazing show?
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not, and I always say on the show, I'm not the biggest AEW supporter. That was a good show. That was a good show. Like we can get into it. Like CM Punk and Samoa Joe.
Let's talk about the show.
Surprised the hell out of me.
Let's go. All right, we know what we need to say about that. Let's go to the show.
Like that,
I do kind of want to. We don't have to go through every match, but I kind of want to go through at least the
main hitters.
The main big hitters.
Yeah, but like just in general, like that CM Punk Samoa Joe match was actually good, and we didn't have to worry about the go to sleep. He did the Pepsi plunge off the top rope, and I'm like, oh shit! Like that surprised me how good they worked and how good that match was. And Joe being Joe, like Joe looked great. I think he looked the best that he's looked on since being in AEW. I'm like, this was a good match.
Yeah,
this was a really good match.
I love the whole Joe walking away from.
That spot he does. Yeah, that is hilarious.
It's hilarious. The fact that so many people have like caught on. They're like, yo, he's been doing this for a long time. Like,
like the little montage on the internet.
Yeah, I definitely think. I thought it was a good match, solid match. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Samoa Joe supporter, so I was hoping he would win. I still don't really understand this real world title. Is this like the actual title on Collision, or what is it? I don't know, but I definitely thought it was a great match.
Like WWE,
Punk sold everything.
It's the championship he never lost. It's the championship he won. It's the championship he won before he got into a fight with the Elite. So it means something.
If he's allowed to keep a title, he's allowed to say what happened.
Yeah. At this point, right?
I don't want to hear about, I didn't lose the title. Okay, then tell us why you didn't lose the title. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. CM Punk sold everything, and I was okay with the finish. But yeah, for what it was, between them, obviously these guys have been just fucking going.
I thought it was going to be a crap fest, and it actually being good. So I was happy with
it. Very solid opener. I mean, the chemistry and the history between the two, you knew you were going to definitely get a very good match between them. Like Lewis, like pretty much that both of you mentioned about Samoa Joe's spot that he does, and then obviously as much as we kind of bashed Punk a little while ago, as far as in ring goes, I mean he's as smooth as they come. So you're never gonna get a bad outing from him. So definitely a great way to start the show. I know some people online are now saying they want to go back and watch the match now with the knowledge of what happened in the backstage. But
why didn't they put the belt on Joe? He's suspended. Why didn't they do it? But no, I thought that was a good opening.
If Joe would have won, they would have been like, so that's why he won, because he got suspended.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even remember was the Stampede match the second match, or was that?
Nah, the second match was the six man tag with the Golden Elite against Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita.
That match,
I was impressed by Takeshita. I was impressed by him. I haven't really seen him go like that, but I was impressed by him in that match.
I like the match. The finish, I did not like whatsoever. That surprise ass pin out of nowhere, and I'm like, and then it was just over, and I was like, well,
it protects.
You guys have top stars in this, and this is how you're gonna do this?
Lewis, I felt the same way too until they announced that they were going to be facing each other at All Out this weekend. Yes, and then I realized, okay, that's why they did that. So because they're going to face each other again.
I feel like
he's going to be the man.
And this is my thing, like with Kota Ibushi, I'm like, maybe I'm just wanting to see more, but I'm not seeing, I guess, the mystique of supposed to come with him and how great he is. And I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to show me Like, I mean, when we're at the show, obviously we have the best spot of seeing everything, but I'm just like, I know he's a striker and he can go, but I'm like, can I get a singles match with him? Like he's literally just been in these tag matches.
I think they're doing that to work him in. I don't know. I mean, he was out for a little while, so I think they're doing this in a way to kind of protect him and kind of bring him along. But yeah, I was like, especially when he came to NXT during the Cruiserweight Classic, I was like, oh shit, it's Kota Ibushi. Like we all heard about him. Like, oh shit, we saw a little bit of him in there, and then of course I'm like, WWE dropped.
Should have won that tournament. Wait, did he?
No, he didn't. That tournament. No, he lost in the semifinals. Yeah, I remember. He lost in the semifinals.
Cedric won it, or was it?
It was TJ Perkins.
TJ Perkins. Yeah. But Cedric got signed during that tournament because he lost, and they were like sign him or like give him a contract.
Yeah, please sign Cedric. Yeah. He has a Bushi.
Yeah, just from that NXT experience and seeing him in that, it's like, this guy's gonna be the next star. And then you hear about his New Japan run, and then he won the New Japan Wrestling title, and then it was a short run, and then he got hurt. And it's like we're waiting to see this mystique about him. But I understand what you're saying, Lewis. But I think this is their way, kind of trying to bring him along and try to get him acclimated into AEW.
That makes sense, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Takeshita, that dude's big and it's hard as shit.
I was impressed by him. Like I was like, oh shit, he's kicking ass. Like he's a hard hitter. Like I was more impressed by him than Kota. But it was just like seeing him, he stood out in that match to me. Like hanging with Kenny, hanging with those guys in there.
He's been having a lot of good spots. Like from the matches I've seen with him, like they're trying to, obviously the whole Don Callis thing. Oh, he's trying to be the new Kenny or whatever. And like I could see that. Probably needs to a little more. Maybe I don't know, like standout moves, I guess. But
he'll get that. He'll get that.
Yes, I mean, they put him with Don Callis for a reason, so they definitely did see something in him. So big things in the future.
What do you guys think about FTR versus the Young Bucks?
Oh, I love that tag team. I actually think that match is not getting enough praise for their psychology.
I don't think so either.
Exactly. The one thing that people always criticize the Young Bucks about is, they don't have any psychology in their match. It's all high spots. Okay. This match with FTR did incorporate some psychology. Like you look at some of those finishes. They took the two finishes from the previous two matches, incorporated them into the match, and actually had people thinking that the match was ending at any given moment with those.
Yeah. There was a couple times when it was like, shit.
I was exactly. And then on top of
it wasn't like just the kick out. It was like, oh shit, this match is done. And then it was like, so they actually got us. I mean, is that credit to FTR or is that? I mean, it's credit to the Young Bucks as well because they're actually able to do that with a tag team like FTR. So to do that as well. I thought it was a pretty entertaining match. I'm like, okay, these guys got quite a bit of time there. What do you guys think about the ending of them not shaking hands and continuing? Because I think they're going to be facing each other at All Out, right?
Actually, no. So I actually watched the first 45 minutes of Dynamite, and they did address this. So there was a backstage segment after the match where FTR kind of asked the Bucks, okay, well, what's going on here? Why didn't you guys shake our hands? And then the Young Bucks tried to explain to him that, like, we were just in the moments, over 81,000 people. We wanted to win. And then they stood up and they were about to shake hands. And then Bullet Club Gold came walking in, teasing the Young Bucks about them losing, talking about, this is the winner's locker room. Why are you guys in here? And apparently at All Out, and now at All Out, there's going to be an 8-man tag with FTR and the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold.
Oh,
so yeah, that's what that turned into.
I can see.
I guarantee that the Bucks are just going to turn on FTR. Whatever. But that was definitely a good match. And this is where AEW shines with their tag teams, and it's just like, why isn't WWE just and mind you, I feel like there's more trios than tag teams in AEW. Way more trios. I'm honestly trying to think of like actual tag teams besides FTR and Young Bucks at this point. But it's just
yeah,
like,
talk about, Lewis. Talk about. Yeah, how you gonna say AEW cares about tag team wrestling and they only be able to name 2 teams?
because they're still getting. Hey, they're actually challenging for the titles. Actually, no, I'm lying. You got the Acclaimed.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, you're naming up the teams of the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed. You got House of Black. But this is what I'm saying. I'm guessing every group.
They're at least what you're saying is that they're at least
the
tag teams
titles,
that form
so not just
into trios.
like FTR.
They form into trios. Yeah. I get what you're saying. They at least have tag matches, legitimate tag matches.
I'm just being asshole. Yes.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was still a great match. FTR and them two are always going to put on a great match.
Was the way they did the Shatter Machine?
Yeah.
That was dope. I liked how they did that and finished that. We can get into the most gnarly match of the night. The Stampede match was just
Daniel, you match of the night, right? match of the year candidate? Top 5, top 3? What is that what we doing?
I will give the top spot to one spot, and there's multiple spots, but there was one spot that stood out to me the most. With the damn skewers in John Moxley's head. Yo, I can't believe Penta was just like, bang, and then people literally dug into his head and just like,
oh, Jesus.
And then he stood around walking with it in his head. I'm like, no way, bro.
I'm like, they couldn't have planned that.
Okay, this is the one thing about AEW. That one thing about AEW that I hope that they wouldn't do in the years prior, but now that they've clearly crossed that line. I think I mentioned it in the chat. I think I said to you, Daniel, it's getting to a point where even barbed wire is considered minimal. Now just think about that for a second. Like, if I hit somebody with a barbed wire bat, it's supposed to mean something. Now, in AEW, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing now because I've seen a man with fucking skewers in his head.
It's a Kendall stick.
How do you go above that now? As far how do you get even more hardcore than that now?
Barbed wire
pizza cut.
No, don't do
no, not the Nick Gage stuff, please.
And I was impressed by Orange Cassidy in this match. I didn't know he was that type of guy to take that many bumps and stuff like that. I thought he was just like kind of like a comedy wrestler.
No, he takes it a lot. I mean, this guy's have 30 title defenses.
I did not know to that level. Like some of the stuff he was doing, I was just like, holy shit. And then he taped up his hand with the glass and shit. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Daniel, that's why I think you admitted it in the chat. You have to say that at least the way the finish was executed, that was good. That was very good.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, despite of what I think about the skewers and the brutality of the shit and the fork and they had the Terry Funk branding tool and he was digging it in the guy's head.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, regardless of what I think of that, the match was highly entertaining. Those type of hardcore matches entertaining. But yeah, the finish, how they set that up with Eddie Kingston tackling Moxley and Claudio taking the punch, like that was dope. So, I mean, again,
I love that final shot of Eddie Kingston and Moxley in the corner, both knocked out with Kingston sticking his finger up in Moxley. I love that. I love that shot. Like if someone took a photo of that, I know it's on social media somewhere. I need to get that.
It's gotta be somewhere.
That's a great shot of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big Orange Cassidy fan, and like Brian just said, like dude has had so many titles. Like he's elevated that title a lot, more than the damn TNT title, which I think is fucking great.
Whoa. Christian adds prestige to the title.
He does.
It's not his title. It's not even his title.
Going back to the international title. Just listen to this book after this match. So they announced on Dynamite that Orange Cassidy was going to defend his title against Penta tonight, and the winner of that match, as the champion, will defend the title against Moxley at All Out. Now, will common sense tell you that Moxley should face Penta and the winner gets Orange Cassidy for the title?
Heel booking. Tony Khan is building the authority.
I thought it was a triple because I'm literally watching Dynamite right now, and I obviously I can't hear it, but it just showed Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, and Penta. So I'm thinking it's a triple threat match.
But, well, unless that one-on-one match didn't have a finish. But this is this isn't WWE, so
No.
Tony Khan is building the authority. He'll book it.
The only thing I didn't like about that match was I know it's a stadium, and I think I was when they were up in like not the rafters, but that like upper level. Yeah, I feel like they didn't really do much up there, and then it took forever for Eddie Kingston to come downstairs. I was like, dude, where the hell is? I'm like, everybody that was up there is already down here. Where the hell is Eddie Kingston?
He went to the bathroom.
Yo, I was saying the same shit. I was like,
yeah, he'll be back.
He's like, oh shit,
fish and chips.
He's like, oh shit, I got a shit. But no, I think that took away from a little bit because it's just too spread out. Like, yeah, it is. It's just too spread out.
To keep going forward, but I mean, unless you were doing like certain spots and be like, all right, we're gonna highlight this, everybody else chill. All right, we're gonna go do this, and then we're gonna do this, and boom, here's the finish. And I think the beginning pacing, I was like, but then once the ball got rolling, I was like, oh, I actually thought,
it just started picking up.
Yeah, I thought Penta was actually hurt at one point. I'm like, if this dude's really hurt off a damn pile driver, I was like, yeah, I gotta tell everybody to stop doing pile drivers because that is not safe. We do not need another Steve Austin, Owen Hart, or whoever situation, you know. So
yeah,
but
they play into it. If you don't see the, that's the sign. If you don't see,
he was twitching. This dude was like, yeah, and I was like, and I feel like I haven't seen the X in AEW. Have you seen it, Brian?
Yeah, Matt, I have. Yeah, they did. They put the X up when Matt Hardy faced Sammy Guevara, and they did a spot where like Sammy knocked Matt
broke his nose or whatever.
Yeah, or not like Matt landed on the back of his head, like he was actually like concussed.
Yes,
and because the stipulation of the match was if Matt loses, he has to leave the company. So they kind of were like in a shitty spot. So I mean, Matt still had a concussion, but like they stopped the match for like 2 minutes. Matt still was concussed, so they went right to the finish, which was Sammy Guevara climbing some shit and falling off, and then so the match was over.
Oh wow!
Shit.
Matt Hardy wrestled with a concussion, but they had to do it because of where the angle was set up.
Now, a match that I was definitely surprised in was that Darby Allin, Sting, Christian.
Was that the next match?
No, it was the women's title match.
It was, the match for the women's title.
Yeah, that was next. Saraya Page, as WWE fans would know her, won the title in front of her family, in front of her country. I like that match a lot. I thought it was good so far, but I just like.
It was very short.
Yeah. Like, what's Shorty's name?
Karushita or
Karushita. Yeah, Sheeta. Like how I'm like, she just won the title. She just won the title.
Well,
she probably had like a month or 3 weeks.
Not even that. I don't think. Yeah, because she won it on a random Dynamite, and then So,
I didn't even know that she had beaten.
Yeah, she won it on the 200th episode.
Who did she beat? Jamie Hayter?
No, she beat Tony Storm.
Tony Storm, that's what it
was. But I did like the back and forth between Tony Storm and Saraya, like how they were like, "Hey, I was supposed to win. I did like that.
I love the fact that they finally broke the Outcast up. And I really like it from the standpoint of because your women's division lacks so much depth right now that you really can't afford to have those three together. You need to spread them out. So and on top, I was really surprised at the reaction that Britt Baker got because I was expecting her being in because London is like the smartest of smart fans. I actually thought that she was gonna get like a greater reaction than she did. But I guess because Saraya being the hometown girl in that equation, obviously took from it. The love that she came out to Queen. I mean, my first memories of that song are from the Mighty Ducks. So every time I hear that song,
and it was also nice using her mom in the spot too.
Yeah. Like
her mom's actually a legit wrestler too.
Have her whole family out there, her brother, her father. Have you guys ever seen that movie they did on her family?
I've always wanted to, and I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I watched it on the flight once. It's actually a very good movie. Yeah, it's very good. building up to her debut on Raw.
Yeah.
So
I know. It's in what's her
definitely a good
face?
watch.
Who's AJ Lee? It's not Zelina. It's or was it Zelina? Was Zelina AJ Lee?
Yeah, Zelina was playing AJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, I kind of like I said, I like them breaking up the Outcasts, and obviously,
I like
obviously right now with Jamie Hayter out, I believe that the biggest star they have in their division, I think it is Saraya Page.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was Britt, but that's probably they're probably gonna announce that match for All Out, probably Britt against Saraya for the title.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I mean,
I
thought it was an okay match. They worked with what they had in the time constraint, so I did like the match. But a match that I was surprised by, what Lewis I think was getting to, was Chris Jericho and Will Ospreay. Chris Jericho still being able to go.
That was a great match.
Like he's able to pull it out. Like he's able to pull one out his ass.
I'm telling you, Chris Jericho will whip out a 6-pack once he needs to, and it's just like, how?
Like, to pull off what he was doing in that match with Will Ospreay, who was going 100 miles per hour. I'm like, Chris Jericho, man.
Bravo.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be.
It really shouldn't be happening. So from now on, anytime we should not. Nobody should ever say Jericho can't keep up with anybody because that match was a combination of of technical stuff, and then you got Will Ospreay with his aerial offense, and I mean, Will Ospreay really is one of the top 3 wrestlers in the world right now, if not number 1 right now. If you really want to look at it.
Oh yeah.
So
the fact he's about to be a free agent too, easily. I mean,
he's going.
I definitely think AEW is a great spot for him. Hopefully, they would utilize him right because he has been highlighted a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he could also really thrive in WWE as well, though.
He doesn't want to. Yeah, I saw him in an interview. He doesn't want to go to WWE.
Really?
Matter of fact, he doesn't like WWE. He thinks WWE is too. He thinks WWE is too. What's the word that he used? I don't know what word he used, but he pretty much said that like WWE is more primarily on the acting side than what he does, which is funny because when he said that, I was just like, well, is it selling technically acting? So what
professional wrestling.
I mean, but if you're selling an injury, you're technically acting like you're hurt, right? So
and that's one thing I'll say about WWE. They don't sell injuries or feign like body parts like they used to, like in the early 2000s, like when a person hit their knee or something like that. I mean, Bianca Belair recently is probably the most we've seen somebody favor their knee or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, what like selling moves and actually that part of it, they don't do that as much anymore. But Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho was just a fantastic match. I was impressed by Chris Jericho. After the match, I was just like, yo, like, I was just impressed by him. Like, he can still go, man. We can get into the last match of the night, MJF versus Adam Cole, a spectacle, their version of the Bloodline, of course. I thought it was a little bit overbooked at points in time to like towards the end with Roderick Strong and stuff like that. But overall, the match was pretty good. I thought Adam Cole kind of being the heel in the match in a sense, which is weird because MJF has been the overall heel of the company that we've seen so far since AEW has really come into life and stuff like that. So to see that mindset and see that type of back and forth between the two, will he, won't they, who's going to turn on each other. And I thought for a moment Adam Cole did turn heel in the match when Roderick Strong load him, and he did go for the pin. So I'm like, did he turn heel? Like, was that the heel turn? And then it turned out, no, that's not the heel turn. But what do you guys think about this match?
Can I go first, Ryan?
No, you can go ahead. You got that.
For me, I think I enjoyed the match. Definitely, I think the Roderick Strong thing was really needed. I mean, they kind of hinted at it like towards the end, like I guess leading up to All In. So then for him to come out and help, and I'm like, obviously,
I didn't think you need it.
I don't think it needed it, but it did add an element because you got Cole. We know these characters. We know Cole's a great heel. We know MJF is a great heel, and for them both to actually play these roles where they actually care about one another, I think it's a whole different side. I think, like Brian said, it was like, it's a story we've never seen before, especially on a grand stage where that's where you take your moment and you grab the title and you do whatever it takes, whether you're a heel or babyface or whatever.
Yes,
exactly. But I feel like even in WWE as well, I don't think we've ever seen a situation where it was two baby faces and the baby faces ended on good terms, or there wasn't a heel turn. I feel like WWE it's usually clear cut. Here's the heel, here's the baby face, and I think this was a new territory where they built it up correctly, where they were like, no, we can have a clear-cut winner, but we don't have to have them turn on each other. Which I thought was still great booking, because what better moment to see than Adam Cole and MJF, put on a hell of a match and then still be celebrated at the end, for being in the main event, so.
Absolutely. I just thought it was a good match. I thought it was good psychology in the match. I thought MJF doing the dive. I always loved that spot from him where he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not confident in it. And then he actually does it. So it's like all his little stuff that he does in
the matches. How great this guy is. It's a simple tope dive. And he got that shit. And he has that shit. He got that shit more over than people who do it on a regular basis. That's how great this MJF is.
Yeah.
I love it every single time he does it, because he really sells it. Like, he really sells it. So that's always great work by them. So All In was a pretty good show. All Out is this weekend, I believe, as well. So I'll try to check that out as well. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show for AEW. A good way to stamp their mark in the UK and stuff like that. Of course, the CM Punk controversy, hopefully that dies down and they're able to resolve that in some type of way that at least moves on from that. And I don't know what they're going to do with his title, because it's like, he's suspended. How long is he suspended? They're in Chicago. That's a CM Punk town. Is he really going to be suspended for All Out? Like,
real world interim title. That he's going to come back with the same title and be like, this is the real title.
I wonder if the fans are going to hijack that show, honestly.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, here's the thing. He's not on it. I think they're in Chicago tonight for Dynamite, and from what I saw, the fans weren't acting that way. But for the actual pay-per-view, maybe.
Oh no, absolutely. Because I mean, like, they need CM Punk there. You're gonna suspend it. Like, that's a fatal blow. Like, I don't know. And from both sides, it's like.
But I mean, who is he gonna face?
I'll
tell you this much though. I guarantee you, we're gonna get a "fuck Jack Perry" chant though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But it's just like, at some point, just talking about the controversy, it's like, is Tony Khan going to be at some point like, all right, I'm sick of this shit, or is CM Punk going to be on the other side like, I'm sick of this shit? Is both of them kind of
apparently that was a new report this week, guys.
Yep,
apparently CM Punk got so frustrated that apparently he got into a heated discussion with Tony Khan in the locker room.
I saw that. That's what I saw.
He hates being here now. Yep. And now their relationship is contentious.
I'm just like from CM Punk's standpoint, not just to shit on him, but it's just like, everyone's coming at him with little shots and stuff like that, and from Hangman Page and all that stuff with the Elite and stuff like that. People are taking shots at him. Is it rightfully so? I don't know, but it's just like, people are taking shots at him. He went out there, had a good match, and just all this other shit that's going on. And then from the company standpoint, it's like, yo, you're always in some type of controversy. You're always in some type of shit, and it's like, we can't take 2 steps forward without taking like 5 steps back because some shit that happened or some shit that was said in the interview.
Just to say one more thing about that, if it does come out that Jack Perry really was the aggressor in the whole situation, then I really gotta start looking at Tony Khan, because it's just like, your biggest draw. Yes, he's been involved in some altercations, but if he hasn't been the aggressor per se in all of it, and your talent is purposely going after him, you need to have a sit down with some of these guys from that standpoint, or maybe you need to figure out or actually have a sit down with Punk and actually figure out, like, dude, what exactly are you doing to like ingratiate yourself with the locker room, or if are you doing anything at all? So
at this point, it's like, do you need security? Do you need security? We know you weren't picked up at the airport and you were pissed off about that, but it's like, do you need security? Do you need a driver? Do you need an extra layer of like security? Because it's like, yo, you keep getting into these altercations, and it's like, the hell. As I said, if I was AEW, I'd be like, we got to learn, and especially if I was a booker, I would be like, we got to learn how to like flip this shit and make it a storyline. Like, I would have CM Punk be the diva, have security, be a prick, like have him just like that's the only way, because it's like all these situations are not looking favorable for anyone involved. Yeah. So I would try to flip it and just try to figure out a way to make it stick. Definitely make it stick.
Mm-hmm.
But we can get on to. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pull up our numbers here for our payback picks here.
All right,
pull up my stats, please. pull up my historic run. Numbers. My historic run.
Lewis is at a whopping 36-11. Brian is at 28-19, and I'm at 26-20.
Like you said earlier, Dan. I'm the one. I'm the one.
I mean, fuck it. At least I'm above 500.
Just trying to make the playoffs in these picks. That's
exactly. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that 10th spot in the play-in.
Oh, shit.
Get to the play-in. We never know what happens. Might get to the
I get an opportunity. Yeah.
Might get to the finals. But we can get into our picks here. Let's get into the first match that's on what was on Wikipedia. Becky Lynch.
Actually, this one's gonna be tough to predict after the main event of Raw, how that ended.
Didn't she win?
Yeah, Becky won.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah. So I mean, again, this has been a long brewing feud since probably after WrestleMania. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus trading wins, attacking each other. Zoe Stark being in the middle of all of this, again taking an L in a no falls count anywhere match. Just this feud has not been hitting, as I said before, and I've been saying for the past couple months. The only person that looks good to me in this whole thing has been Zoe Stark, has been able to work in different spots, been able to be involved, be the kind of like the muscle for Trish. But what do you guys think about this one? Who do you guys think got winning this? Hopefully, and I remember cage matches being the send off for a feud, right? Like I remember playing the old WWF Attitude game, a grudge match. The last match was handled in the steel cage. So nitpicks is like, is this the last match? And I don't feel like it is. But who do you guys have winning this match?
If Becky is, sorry, you can go, Brian.
You want me to go? All right. The cringy women's feud in the WWE right now. I mean,
it don't look so bad now, does it?
No, that feud was just bad for a whole another reason. So,
see, you flip the script on that one, you'll get better wrestling, but terrible promos.
Yeah. So we saw the Raw main event with Becky Lynch beating Zoe Stark in that Falls Count Anywhere match. You would like to think that like Daniel said that this match will be the end all be all of this feud, so we can finally have like Becky move on. I'm actually seeing that. I guess apparently Tiffany Stratton, the NXT Women's Champion, has been mentioning Becky a lot in her promos recently, and I think at NXT's next PLE, I think people are predicting that Becky is actually going to face Tiffany Stratton.
She's going to get sent down.
No mercy.
yeah, at no mercy. No mercy. So I would hope with that news that would mean that we're coming to the end of this feud. Mm-hmm. But again, like I've said from the beginning, Lewis, when you begged and pleaded with WWE for them to end this feud, what did I say? It's still 2-on-1.
It's a cage match. But it's a cage
now you would
match
think now you would think Becky was able to avenge kind of was able to win. She won 2-on-1, technically on Monday Night Raw. But you already know how WWE's booking is. In the PLE match, that's where it counts more. That's where supposedly it counts more. So therefore, even though it's a steel cage match, Zoe Stark is still going to have some involvement. That's the one thing about WWE's cage matches that I don't like compared to AEW's cage matches. The fact that it's either pinfall, submission, or escape the cage instead of it just being pinfall or submission.
Yeah.
But so because of that, I think this is going to continue. So I gotta go Trish Stratus on this one.
This has to end. There's no reason why. Like, you're telling me you're gonna drag this out to another PLE? No thanks.
Survivor Series.
No. And like you said, like you just mentioned, if
War
she's
Games,
already-
exactly.
If she's already getting called out, if she's already getting called out by someone in NXT, and that's gonna be a thing, this feud has to end. So I'm easily going Becky.
Or
what?
is that an olive branch for it to continue?
No, because you
Or
know
they
what?
could build Or they could build it the same way that they built Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, when Braun just called them out and then Seth just accepted the challenge via video, and then they just had the match the next week. So
are they
that
just
only takes like
copying
2
Seth
weeks.
Rollins?
It only takes like 2 weeks. So therefore, you can continue the Trish feud. And hell, how do you not know that to continue that feud, Trish gets involved and costs Becky the NXT Women's Championship, therefore prolonging the feud?
Oh no, no.
I'm going Trish because I'm sorry. Wow. I'm going Becky. I'm going Becky because I'm sorry. Like, they have to know the crowd is not for this match, and there's just no reason to drag it on even further. It's been how long now? Since what?
I don't know. Me and Brian been using common sense on these picks, and Lewis has just been able to squeeze his way through the beam.
Squeeze. I've been spot
want to get
on.
technical. This feud
I've
kind
been
of started
spot
at WrestleMania.
Exactly. Wait, this has been going since WrestleMania?
Because remember when they were all on a tag team? Remember when they were all on the same team against Damage Control? Yeah. So that kind of when it started.
Yeah. Come on now. April, May, June, July, August. It's in 5 months.
September.
Exactly. It's supposed to be 6. No. This cannot go on.
It will. It will.
No, there is no reason. The only way this would go on longer, and the thing is, Trish probably wouldn't even be involved if Lita come back, but she takes out Becky, and boom, there's their next feud.
I mean, they would just team up against her at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now it's 3-on-1.
Exactly.
Now you prolong it even more.
And then Damage Control comes
now
back and helps Becky. Because my thing is, Rhea needs a challenger, and I don't think Raquel's gonna get a lengthy feud. Yeah, she might get maybe 2 PLEs, but I don't think it's gonna be long enough that they're gonna need another challenger. And we've been talking the whole make lemons out of lemonade thing, and Becky's gonna need to come back and get into the title. So that's where I see that.
Absolutely.
Do you think they're saving Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley for WrestleMania? I mean, I don't think they can, but do you think that's something that they're gonna wait on, or do you think that by the time
they can't the way they booked it, unless they're gonna extend Raquel Rodriguez and then somehow Liv Morgan comes back and gets involved or something like that, they can't extend it that far. I don't think they can have Rhea Ripley just sitting there continuing to just be around the Judgment Day, and just not even defend the title. It's like that's going to be like freaking Dean Ambrose with the U.S. title, like where he just had it for like forever and only defended it like once in a blue. But just in general, it's just like they definitely need a challenger for Rhea coming down the line. But hopefully they can get Raquel Rodriguez back up to speed, and hopefully she's ready to go. And we'll talk about that match later. But me and Brian got Trish Stratus, and Lewis is going with Becky Lynch.
You guys don't listen. You guys just love missing them shots. There should be free throws.
Hey, we're thinking
you're going for sky hooks, I should say. You're going for
we're
sky
thinking
hooks.
logically, and WWE continues to swerve us. That's all this is.
I keep giving you guys the logical answers. You guys just don't follow suit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Question: When this feud is eventually over, what happens with Trish then?
She goes away forever.
She gotta go away.
No more returns. Don't ask her. Lose her number.
Does she have like a 1-year deal with
Hall of Fame if she wants? But that's it.
I'm fine with her if she's doing like a manager thing for the tag team. Like if Zoe Stark gets a tag team partner and she's the manager, completely fine with that because Trish is still able to take bumps, still able to get involved and stuff like that. But actually carrying something like a promo in terms of like a match, she might be able to get involved here and there, but as consistently as she has been since WrestleMania, no. No, I don't.
Better keep our backstage segments talking. Don't give her a mic.
Like this gotta. What are you talking about? The Hall of Famer that way? You're killing her.
Yeah,
Tell me all her promos have been great. Exactly.
I can't.
Look at that negativity. You can't even say nothing nice about her promo.
Here's the thing: was Trish ever really like a really great promo though?
She was better than what she is.
Yeah, I mean, she was better than what she was. But I don't ever remember like her be like really standing out even in her prime on the mic. Like
she was at least dastardly.
Mm-hmm.
I actually believe that she was evil.
And I feel like they didn't get a lot of mic time like that back then.
They didn't, but at least in her little short, quick hit promos, like she was at least straight to the point. She was dastardly. Yeah. She would play to the mic well, like play to the audience and stuff like that. Now it's just like you're kind of at a place and you haven't really been able to find your footing, and it's like this needs to end. Long story short, this needs to end. We can get into the next match that was on Wikipedia, of course. I'm just going in order. We got Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight title. Shinsuke Nakamura knows about Seth Rollins' back. That has been a hitting point in this feud. And we're potentially getting some breadcrumbs to potentially something else happening, which I think will probably happen. But what do you guys think about this match? Who do you guys got in this one?
All right, see this one is tough for me because my prediction is one way, but what I actually want to happen is the opposite. Because I actually want this feud to last longer than one PLE.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But the fact that the feud is based around Seth's injured back, obviously Nakamura is going to target in the match, and then you have Damian Priest out there, so you have to keep that.
I was actually just thinking about that yesterday too.
Yeah,
no,
and the fact so we're going to get into that tag team match, but I almost feel like Nakamura is going to get the win, but by DQ, and he's not, or Seth is going to, or somebody. And there's going to be a DQ. There's not going to be a clean finish in this match. That's all I know. You can actually come back to me, but I'll have somebody.
Yeah. See, I was thinking because. I like these video packages for Nakamura. They've been doing a hell of a job of making him a heel. I feel like this is something they should have been doing from the get-go, like from his original heel turn.
Yes.
That we shall not speak of. So same because I've just been Team Nakamura for so long, and for him to finally get this chance, actually be in the title picture, I want him to win the title, but I don't want it to be a 5-second reign and then he gets cashed in. So I'm gonna I'm gonna Crossroads because I feel like if Seth wins and obviously Nakamura beats the crap out of his back and everything, there you go. Damian can just cash in, and then I'm pretty sure Seth kind of wants a break. I feel like this whole back stuff is probably for Seth to get a little break because he has been,
banged up.
He's been going nonstop since he won the title and everything. So I'm sure this is probably like, hey, he needs to recover. And that's the story they're going to say, oh, Nakamura messed up his back more. He needs to recover. So I was really going to pick Shinsuke, but I'm going to say Seth, but I'm going to say a cash-in.
So your pick is Seth Rollins.
Yes. including Damian Priest winning the title after. Sorry, I'm calling 2 matches because you have to call 2.
Okay, I'll put it. All right.
Where we at? We're an hour, 5 minutes, and I think it was 39 seconds when he said that.
There you go.
So we have to go back.
We're going to add an extra match to the card, and that will be Damian Priest gets his match.
All right, so I'll do this. So you're saying Seth Rollins in a cash-in, right? So I will give you a bonus point. So why don't we do that? If we guess the stipulation, if we're willing to guess the stipulation on a match, we'll get a bonus point if it's correct. How about that? Now that that's on record.
The stipulation?
So if you say like Seth Rollins wins and then a cash-in happens, you get an extra point for actually predicting what actually happens. Is that fair with everybody? When actually predicting matches, we add a bonus point.
Oh, Dan's being fair.
You don't always have to guess the stipulation. It'll be regular if you don't guess the stipulation. Yeah. But if you do and it adds and it actually happens, you get a bonus point. So let me put in parentheses for Lewis cash-in. There we go. You get a bonus point if that's correct. Or should we do something like a double whammy if it's wrong? You get no points.
I'm fine with that.
All right, sweet. I like that idea too.
I can stand to lose a point or 2.
You say that now. Say that now.
So
there we go.
Okay, so I figured it out now. So I'm actually gonna go Seth Rollins, but no cash in because I think that this Priest and Balor story. I still think that there's still more to tell before we actually have
leaves on the branches.
At least not on Saturday. Maybe a week or two or something like that.
You're going Seth Rollins.
Yeah, just straight Seth Rollins.
Straight Seth Rollins. I'm the same way. I'm going Seth Rollins. I don't think they're going to put the belt on Nakamura. Maybe he knocks him out afterwards, and maybe they tease a cash in. I think that might happen, but I think Seth is still going to have the belt. I don't think Seth is going to go away so fast. I think they're going to try to stretch him out until at least get to a Survivor Series, maybe take him out at that point. Maybe something happens around there. And then maybe he comes back in time. He gets a little bit of time to rest, comes back for the Royal Rumble somewhere in the WrestleMania season where he can actually build up again. I think that's what's going to actually happen. So
the thing I don't like about Survivor Series is I feel like it just kind of puts all the other story. Well, it depends on how they do it. Unless it's like a War Games thing, or if they're gonna go back to brand supremacy, I feel it just puts all the every story on hold.
Let me stop you right there. There better not be no fucking brand supremacy. I want everybody to
Ryan hates the brand supremacy.
There better not be no. Bro, the brand split ended like 3 weeks after the fucking draft. All right, so there shouldn't be no fucking brand supremacy, no fighting, anything like that. No.
They're gonna bring back. Remember when they brought bragging rights?
Oh my god! Same shit.
Like who thought of this? Right? Like who thought of this shit? Like Survivor Series is right there. The traditional brand versus brand, team versus team. It's like who thought of this? Who thought of this? Like oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Terrible times.
Very terrible times.
But yeah, we're all going Seth Rollins here. Nakamura, unfortunately, not going to get the strap. We all thinking. Lewis is saying a cash in. Me and Brian are just saying Seth Rollins regular. So if Lewis, let's just say 109, 30, 1 hour, 9 minutes, 30 seconds. If Lewis gets the prediction correct, he'll get a bonus point. If he doesn't, he'll get 0 points. But we'll see how that goes. We can get into the women's world title. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez is finally cleared to wrestle. Finally. What do you guys think about this brewing match? And does Raquel actually have a chance?
No, because you're right, Lou. She doesn't have a chance, but because right now, but because she's the only I guess legitimate credible threat besides Becky Lynch to Rhea Ripley right now. I feel as though we're gonna get a very physical match, but I feel that Raquel is gonna get the win, but just not win the title. I just feel as though
Express.
Exactly. That's exactly what the fuck is gonna happen. In a sense, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Rhea's gonna get DQ'd, and Raquel's gonna win without winning the title, therefore prolonging this feud. So I'm gonna go with Raquel Rodriguez.
That's actually my pick as well. I actually went with Raquel Rodriguez by disqualification because I don't think that they're going to put the belt on her so soon, especially after her coming back from injury, after her basically the crowd. You don't really know how the crowd's reacting to her as yet. So hopefully we're able to get at least an impactful match there. But yeah, I think the way to protect her right now to make it kind of stretch out this feud, because they really haven't had anybody else to really go after Rhea Ripley in this time. I think they're actually going to try to stretch it out and do it by disqualification. I think that's what's absolutely going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't. I feel like I don't know. I don't think, obviously she wasn't legitimately injured, but I didn't like the whole injury angle to her getting this match. I guess oh, she's not clear. Oh, now she's cleared, and it's just
I didn't like it either.
Yeah, that's not the type of pop, or that's not the backing that she needed. If she would have gotten,
and especially being so she's been green on the main roster, she's just recently brought up. I don't think that's the best way to introduce her by not having her wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that's why it's this is actually their first. Well, it's not their. Is it their first match together?
Mm-hmm.
On the main roster. Yeah. But they had a feud in NXT.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But at least on Raw or SmackDown, they haven't gone against each other, and they're definitely not going to take the title off of Rhea at this point. She's too hot, even though with no title defenses.
The ability you don't have to wrestle in order to be. She's been getting some run in NXT though, so
exactly. Mixed tag matches.
And she's the leader of arguably, besides the Bloodline, the hottest group in the company. So yeah,
exactly.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely As much as I want to support Raquel, she, like you said, she's too green right now. The whole smiley thing. Yeah, they're trying to give her a little edge right now, but they gotta make her look strong.
WWE, stop having your women smile. Stop having your women just smile. Raquel Rodriguez is what, 5'10", a beast. She does that back thing when she comes out. I don't want to see her smile all the time. I want to see her clothesline somebody, rip somebody's head off. It's okay.
They should. If anything, they should.
She was doing the NXT. She was a heel.
Yes,
exactly. Yes. They should have brought her in as a heel, and then maybe you slowly could have turned her babyface. But
she didn't have to be a heel. With her and Liv Morgan, they could have had her been the muscle, be the aggressive muscle. She doesn't have to smile all the time. They could have been attacked.
I think that's the thing, though. I think sometimes it's better to come in. I don't know, depending on the person. If you come in a heel, I don't know. Maybe it's.
You at least have a little bit more wiggle room to turn babyface. You at least know what direction you can go, how the crowd reacts to her, and stuff like that. But it's tough.
That's why I feel because she was a heel in NXT and everything. But it's too early to take the title off of Rhea, and it's just not a solid rivalry yet. Yeah, they could probably put on a banger. They're gonna hit hard, and hey, maybe if this match is good enough, they're gonna be like, okay, hey, maybe we might have a Sheamus Gunther type thing here, and we can run
They
with that.
should. They should.
Which is what I'm hoping for. So, but as of this point, yeah, Girl's definitely not getting the title right now, and hopefully she'll get another shot, and then hey, maybe we'll be saying a different story later on.
So who do you have winning?
Oh, Rhea
Ripley. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley. Believe it or not. All right. And in our next match here, we have the United States Championship match. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory.
Just to say, Lewis, that co-worker, I think I told Daniel before the show, but that co-worker that I was speaking of that I met today, who's an independent wrestler, Austin Theory was actually one of the people he's actually worked with before. So,
oh wow,
just wanted to throw that out there. But
but yeah, that's dope. That was dope. Like just to be networking people. But yes, we have Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. This has been going back and forth, of course. Rey Mysterio was the replacement for Santos Escobar after Austin Theory injured him. And Rey picked up the victory there, and this has been brewing. We're now having another match, Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. Who do you guys got in this one? I'll go first. I got Austin Theory coming back and getting the belt. I feel like this was just a short-term thing.
We both disagree. No, we both disagree.
No.
Hear me.
Oh, no. Let me let you explain.
First, this adds a little bit more intrigue to him and Santos, because I feel like him and Austin Theory and Santos Escobar can actually be the first real rivalry that he actually has. Rey Mysterio can be the mentor to Santos Escobar. I don't see the LWO turning on Rey Mysterio or anything like that, but I do feel like Santos Escobar could be like our avenge you as the luchador. Like, I don't, unless they're really going to this angle with NXT Dom and Rey Mysterio clashing with their titles, which I don't think they're going to do. I feel like that can be a plunge for Santos Escobar to actually get his win back and get some recognition and actually have a rivalry with Austin Theory. So I'm going to go Austin Theory.
I didn't even know this match was on the card.
They announced this. They announced this on SmackDown. It was the first thing that they announced after the Bray Wyatt tribute.
Stop disrespecting Austin Theory, man. He's legit. He's legit.
All right, Daniel. This is why I disagree with. This is why I disagree with your pick of Austin Theory. If this was about Austin Theory essentially getting his win back, is that what you said?
Pretty much.
Essentially, yeah. What was the point of him losing the title in the first place? If the whole focus of this is supposed to be about Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar in a sense,
build the rivalry between him and Santos.
Between him, you saying build the rivalry between him and Santos. See, so in a sense, if you were to do that, that would mean Austin Theory would have to body Rey Mysterio in this match. Then, to give Santos a reason to be like, okay,
yes,
now
I'm
going after him because of what he did to my mentor. Yes. I can understand that story, but I just think that a better story would be if Santos actually knocked off Rey Mysterio. Why? Because I want heel Legado Fantasma. That's the main reason. That's the main reason why. I mean, I know we keep talking about everybody about all these factions can't be healed, but it's the best version of them. All right.
I agree, but it's just like I don't think everybody.
It's an easy story to tell too. You just gotta build it up over time and make it.
The bloodline is heel.
Santos doesn't.
Like Austin Theory's a heel. Like I don't think you can have all these people just be heels.
You can just get Austin Theory out of here. Go back. Get him back to the way. He can be a babyface again.
Yeah.
Also, you want him to be? So you want him to be goofy as hell like he was with Mr. McMahon?
Yes. No, he wasn't goofy. He was a heel then. No. I'm talking about
goofy
before.
Austin Theory again. That was horrible.
No, I do want goofy Austin Theory because you know what? I guarantee he would get more over than his heel persona now because his heel persona now is not hitting. It's not exactly. He's getting a thumbs down.
I mean, no. It was the damn draft, man. Because before the draft,
Don't blame the
he was hot.
draft now.
He just beat John Cena. Before the draft, he was hot.
And
He
it did
beat John
nothing
Cena.
for him.
Then he got
And it
drafted to
did nothing
SmackDown,
for
and we
him.
haven't seen shit. We hadn't seen anything since.
It did nothing for him. So the way I see this going, I see Ray winning. But now the only way Austin Theory will get the title back is if Escobar costs him the title, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Ray's going to win, and then after the match, say, "Oh, we're going to celebrate," and they turn on him because obviously he's going to be pissed that he took his spot, and people are talking, "Oh, how do you feel about your mentor kind of taking your spot and then win the title? Now you don't get the title, blah blah blah." blah. Like,
so then Dom leads the LWO.
No, why?
He was right. His father's a prick. He's a deadbeat.
Why do I feel like if the Judgment? Hold on. I'm trying to think. Why do I feel like when the Judgment Day breaks up that they're gonna pivot into that? I feel like
they have to.
No,
the story writes itself.
Because the feud between Ray and Dom is done right now. They don't need to bring Dom back again.
I mean, it's father against son. It's pretty straightforward. You don't really need to do. If you go back to it, it makes sense. It's father against son. Son does.
We had that for like a year.
Son is unruly. Father wants to stop him. Like it writes itself. Like they can tell that story. They can tell that story forever. And plus, because of the backstory with Ray and Eddie Guerrero,
I'm tired of it.
They're gonna tell that story forever between.
I'm tired of it. We've seen it too many times. We don't need to see it anymore.
You might be tired of it, Lewis, but
you want to see Ray and Dom for another year?
I was impressed by their WrestleMania match.
I just asked you a question. For another year.
The match was good. The match was good.
I'm just saying, like that story writes itself. And a lot of I watched like a whole lot of they can go a different bunch of ways with this because a lot of the stuff and I remember I think it's AAA. But I remember Psychosis was fighting Rey Mysterio Sr. As the mentor and the teacher. I think they had it on Netflix a while ago. They had had a bunch of matches together, and Psychosis would always get ganged up on and get beat by Rey Mysterio Sr. and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of elements that they can play into, especially with Rey Mysterio in his senior age at 50, still going, right? So it's there's a lot of ways they can go about this with him battling the LWO.
You know what I'm starting to think? Is Dan likes repetition. He likes to see things happen the same way over.
It won't be the same way.
Over.
It's Dominic Mysterio. It's Dominic Mysterio as the leader of the LWO.
Why? Why would it be the leader if you have Santos Escobar, whose leader was the leader of the group?
Or maybe Dom can just join them as a side guy.
No.
At this point, Dom can't be a side guy. Yes.
No.
If he's feuding against Ray, Dom has to be the out in front.
So Santos Escobar is here, and then you're saying Dominic Mysterio is main event. Is that what you guys are saying right now? Dominic Mysterio should be challenging.
Mysterio main evented three straight shows of WWE television. So he is.
In a week.
In a week. He doesn't need another group. He has mommy. He doesn't need
on his name. I do like their angle because I do like Dominic and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to hey, let me go lead this other group and let's leave Judgment Day. Come with me, mommy. And then she leaves him too. No, I feel like that's too common.
He does go after married women. Selena Vega is married.
What?
I'm just saying.
Hey, Rhea's engaged. She's not married.
I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here.
No, she's engaged. She's not married.
Hold up, Daniel. Hold up. No. Thea Trinidad is married. Zelina Vega is not. You gotta get that right. That's the WWE logic right there. See, so technically, as characters, he could.
That's that licensing. You can do whatever you want with the license.
All right. So what are our picks?
I got
Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I should get double picks as the only person picking Austin Theory.
No.
I'm going down with the ship. Austin Theory.
Yo, man. Austin Theory is going to be in hot water after this because I don't know I don't know what
He's
you
going
can do.
down to the bottom of the sea.
Tag team with Dolph Ziggler.
Matter of fact, I think we're talking about
The
this.
younger Robert Roode.
Matter of fact, I think we're going to talk about this match next. But his next feud is probably going to be with the LA Knight, probably.
I need y'all picks. Who y'all going with?
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
No, Ray.
Rey Mysterio.
Ray's not
Okay.
losing that title.
Boo. Go out on a limb.
You crazy.
Be different. Be different.
How
You
is
like
that?
repetition. You like being safe.
Oh. I've been safe.
Just saying.
Yet I have all the score. Who's in last
being
place?
safe. Because you're
Brian,
being
who's in last
safe.
place?
You're
Brian,
being
is it-
safe. That's all it is.
Oh.
You're being safe.
So my
I
picks
just
have
know
been
it's not me.
safe.
I'm not last.
Who predicted Io Sky winning and was not given the points?
Hey. That was not agreed upon. That's all I'm saying.
Because you wouldn't allow it.
That person
You
wasn't.
wouldn't allow it. And you know what's funny is that you
That
allowed
person-
this one today, but as soon as I said it last time, you
Because
that's
the show
not an option.
because
That's
that
not an
wasn't-
option.
that wasn't selected. I'm now understanding what's happening and acting it as a legitimate pick. As a legitimate pick, I'm allowing it for now. That's all. Growth, Lewis. Growth.
No, I don't like how this is being run as a dictatorship. You know,
I'm showing flexibility here by even allowing that to happen.
democracy.
I'm showing you.
I thought you were an
flexibility
American.
by-
I thought you were an American talking about that Lexus Press stuff.
Let me
I
start
see
playing the
you.
national anthem in the background to show my patriotism.
Sure.
Just
See a little Castro pop out in the back. It's like he's lying.
pop up. Gives me the hat. Give me the Sami Zayn hat.
Yep, gives him a cigar. Para Cuba.
We can get into our next match, which is LA Knight versus The Miz.
Yeah.
This has actually been brewing and has at least been entertaining, especially with The Miz coming out as LA Knight on Raw this past week, which was funny. These guys have been going at each other. As I said, I've not been impressed by The Miz because it's like
Daniel, tell us why The Miz is going to win this match.
No, I'm not doing
Different.
that.
Don't be safe. Be different. Come on.
I'm not doing that.
Man.
I'm not doing that.
Come on,
The
Dan.
Miz is a whomping 1-34 this year.
See, I knew you were going to bring that.
He just lost to Akira Tozawa. I'm just saying, he's 1-34, and LA Knight's going to get this big win over The Miz and lead on to the charge into the main event scene by beating a 1-34 wrestler on the year. I just want to point that out.
But if Miz wins, they'll just strap him to that rocket, and he's back in the title.
I mean, he's like the Brooklyn Brawler right now. He's like the
We
Brooklyn
could get
Brawler.
everything we wanted.
He's the Brooklyn Brawler with the promo. That's all it is. That's all it is. The Miz is the Brooklyn Brawler with the promo. He's the Brooklyn Brawler with the promo.
I will give it to Miz because, man,
he's entertaining. I'll say that.
Yeah.
He's entertaining.
He has longevity. I don't know.
See, Daniel,
the one
I am
where-
sick of your disrespect towards The Miz. I mean,
A Hall of Famer.
you going, I mean, to mention, granted, to lose 34, 35 matches in 1 year, I will admit it is frustrating, but the only people that know that are smart fans like us. Realistic.
I saw the stat on. I saw the stat.
And how can you say the Brooklyn Brawler? How many title reigns does the Brooklyn Brawler have?
What's up?
The Miz should be in retirement right now. He's
No, he
1-34.
Why
He's
would
on-
he?
You want to know what he's doing? He's doing the what's dog's name? Who's the dude that was on that losing streak forever? Not Buddy Murphy.
Hawkins.
Yeah, Kurt
Kurt
Hawkins.
Hawkins?
Kurt Hawkins, yeah. Kurt Hawkins, yeah. That is the role he's on right now. I'm just saying.
No, you got to
Just
give
saying.
him more credit than that.
I'm just saying.
Daniel, I said from the very beginning when this feud started and you critiqued The Miz, all this is a warm up feud to check this new momentum that LA Knight has built, and it's only going to last one PLE, and now he's going to move on to something more serious, which I'm hoping once Gunther finally breaks Honky Tonk's record, is probably going to hopefully goes into that.
No.
Well, you don't agree? You don't agree? I mean, if we want to build LA Knight's momentum,
first of all, he's on Raw. LA Knight is on SmackDown.
Don't even mention that shit. This match is SmackDown against Raw, technically.
Exactly. He's Deadpool. He's Deadpooling. He's jumping shows.
Brand split is dead, so we can't mention that anymore.
He's breaking the brand splits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But, I mean, as far as prediction goes, I mean, I think we all agree that obviously LA Knight's going to win this match.
I just want to mention something. I just looked up something. Top Dollar has more wins than The Miz this year. Just want to point that out.
Team wins don't count. Team wins don't count.
He has the 1, 2, 3. I'm just saying.
No,
you're in the record book. 1, 2, 3's count.
Does it say Hit Row one or Top Dollar one?
Hey. He's got the 1, 2, 3.
They're a tag team.
He's on the winning.
They don't say
he's on the winning side of things. I'm just saying. The Miz is 1-34.
Because he's alone. He doesn't have Maurice to help him.
Hey, he had Tommaso Ciampa. Thank
God he doesn't.
Hey, the only way he can win this match is maybe Bronson Reed gets another contract and come take.
Oh, is he? What happened with him?
I have no idea. He had him take out Tommaso that one time, and then
that's it.
Now he's shooting. I think essentially he's shooting with Tommaso Ciampa now.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, Dan, who's your pick? You got the Miz winning, right?
Yes,
I got LA. I got LA Knight. I'm not.
Oh, he's being so safe.
I'm being safe. Yes, I'm being safe on this one.
But you.
All right.
Hypocrisy.
No, what?
Hypocrisy.
Well, we should move on from this match right after I say this. LA Knight just main evented SmackDown. Who did he beat? He beat Finn Balor. Next match.
Clean.
Let me just put the
Clean at that. All right, next match.
Let me just put the picks in. All right, yeah, everyone's going LA Knight on this one. Everyone's going LA Knight. Got it. We can go into our potentially final match of the night. I think should be probably the main event with how things are going. If they are not going to put Shinsuke and Seth on at last. But we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. This has been brewing a little bit here as Mommy has been trying to get the Judgment Day under control and has put a stipulation here as if they don't win the gold, things will be changing. So apparently, Rhea Ripley is the leader of the group. She's trying to get Damian Priest and Finn Balor on the same page. Kevin Owens has recently returned. Sami Zayn has been battling these guys in and out, kind of helping the good guys win against the Judgment Day and stuff like that. Cody Rhodes in particular. What do you guys think about this match? Who do you guys got winning?
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Woo!
Daniel, hold on, wait a minute. Come on.
That's a hot.
The stipulation was for this match was that if the Judgment Day doesn't win the titles, that Rhea Ripley said there was going to be changes within the group.
Yes.
All right. So if this match kicks off the show, Lewis's prediction might actually come true. If the Judgment Day loses,
yeah,
because there might be a cash in.
Exactly.
If this kicks off the show,
they're not winning. They've been feuding too much. They're not gonna get it right and win the tag titles.
Hey!
What?
Win one for the Gipper. Win one for Rhea Ripley. That's what they're doing it for.
Judgment Day is done. There's been too much friction and instability.
It's been a couple months now.
And you know what? It's also been? It's been holding that money in the bank for too long. So what's coming? Cash in.
Yeah, but at the same time, are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn actually like good right now, or are they only pretty much just like wrestling through nagging injuries right now just to get to this point? Because I still think Sammy still has the issue with his elbow.
It wasn't swollen anymore.
Is it? It's not.
No, it wasn't. It was regular.
It was regular on Raw.
Yeah. It was regular. Yeah,
Probably just had a drain or whatever. But
But
if they're Kevin going to Sami Zayn are both good to go, then I don't see obviously Judgment Day beating them in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like you still want to tell this story about the Judgment Day breaking down, and of course you got JD McDonough out there. So if things are going to change, he's definitely going to factor into it. So so you have that. But like I said, the positioning of this match on the card is going to determine a lot. Like if it kicks off the show, then
or
Seth
in the middle,
or main event.
Or in the middle. If it's not the main event, then
yeah.
I think this is the opener.
Yeah, if it comes on before the world title match, we might get a catch it.
Yeah, it should be. So you're going Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Lewis, Brian, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn too. Yeah,
and I'm gonna break the tie here. Wait! Almost kicked myself out. I'm going with the Judgment Day.
Oh, here we go. For the sake of just being against the narrative,
because JD McDonough is going to help them win, and he's going to officially join the group. And the Judgment Day is going to continue their friction after this, because I feel like them adding the tag team titles is a way to get it off Sami and KO, put it in this friction, that tag team, and figure out another tag team in this time, whether it's Alpha Academy, the Viking Raiders, whether it's Drew McIntyre and Riddle. That can go after that, or the New Day, whoever's there. Those two kind of guys. I think I just saw something that Xavier Woods is. I don't know if it's legit, like he's hurt from that chair shot from Drew McIntyre just in the group. So I think that's the way that they can divvy it up, and it's easier to take the titles then with all the friction in the Judgment Day and give it to another team in that sense, rather than building up a team and having them beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I feel like this is a way that they can transfer that and do that. And continue that storyline with the Judgment Day.
I just don't see. I would agree if Damian didn't have the briefcase. I don't think they would have.
I feel like they're gonna prolong that and add them probably potentially losing the tag titles as the last nail in the coffin. Like, hey, we can't coexist. We can't do this, and that's going to lead to that breakup. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it would be an interesting direction to go in. I definitely I can admit that, but I just feel
And as you guys said, I've been feeling for a while now if they're gonna lose. I don't know if the breakup of Sami Zayn and KO is gonna happen, but I feel like the way that KO has been going on the past couple months, always getting them into trouble or getting them into fights. And Sami Zayn trying to be peacemaker and all this stuff, and especially the stuff with the bloodline, which seems to be over. Hopefully, is over with Sami Zayn trying to interfere.
That's why I agree with you. I think that's why I think they shouldn't break up. It shouldn't like ever break up. I mean, they should do kind of like what Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes are doing, where it's not like we're not breaking up, but
like RVD and Booker T.
because the bloodline, because of how great that aspect of the bloodline storyline was with the Royal Rumble with Sami Zayn with the chair shot and such. That kind of like, because that was such a high point in that storyline, that kind of brought them back together. It almost seems as though, okay, because of that, nothing should ever really separate them again. I don't think so.
I think that should move them on after this. They should move on to the main event scene, because one, Seth is going to need challengers. Damian, potentially, if he's going to cash in and win, he's going to need challengers. Shinsuke's there. Cody Rhodes is potentially there. We don't know if he's lurking with
Bronson Reed.
Royal Rumble. But like you have all these other guys, and it's like I feel like Sami and KO can add a lot to the main event scene.
Yeah.
While those tag teams we see the Raw tag teams building and forming, that they can build up. We got the Viking Raiders, the New Day, and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens there with that, but I'm going to go with the Judgment Day because I feel like that's another olive branch that they can use to create friction between them and eventually put get another tag team over. Whether I would like it to be Alpha Academy if they were going to go that route, because
I think like I think you're right with the JD McDonough part coming out to hell because it is that like steel. What is it like pencil? Whatever steel.
Steel City.
Steel City. Whatever street fight. Whatever the hell it is.
Is that what they're
with the
calling
way, it's something like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
They did get
some
okay.
Yeah, because they're in Pittsburgh.
No.
With the whole Damian not messing with JD McDonough, I feel like boom, we're gonna be fighting him, and like it's a street fight, so guaranteed JD McDonough is gonna come out, try and help. Damian's gonna get pissed, and then Finn's gonna take the pin. So that's why I don't feel.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, because I don't see him like, hey, he comes out like he's helped them already, but from what we've seen on Raw, he doesn't want JD around at all. Obviously, that's Finn's boy, so for them just to get the titles and then be like, what the, like, we're still in disarray, but we just won the tag titles. It just, I don't know. It doesn't like make sense to me, I guess. I don't know. That's just where I'm coming from. So that's why I feel like, to me, it makes more sense that, they're going to implode and then Damian's going to be like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to just finally become champion. And
he should. I feel like that should be his route, like at some point to do that. But I feel like
his time is now. Well, like
I feel like he's going to have a failed cash in. That's I just feel like he's going to.
I hope not. Nah, not with.
I really hope not.
I think that I know it's everything against that, but I feel like that will add to his character. Like I was screwed out of it, and actually,
you don't think he'll get the Baron Corbin treatment?
Oh no! He's too no. I'm not saying that Baron Corbin isn't talented, but Damian Priest could go. Damian Priest can go.
I just feel everything went downhill.
He has the Latin. He has the Latin backing, fan support. Like that's a big part of Latino community for WWE. They're trying to find a Latino star for the longest time. He's tall. He's talented. He can go. He has a different move set.
Yeah, checks off all their boxes. Damian
He's cool. He's cool with Bad Bunny, which is Bad Bunny's gonna come back.
He's the ideal guy. He's the ideal WWE guy. Like so
size, strength, speed, agility.
Mess around with that cash.
Like I really see they can actually build his character a little bit more and get a run out of him. But yeah, I mean the sky's the limit for him, of course. But yeah,
I just think it's time for him to break away from. I mean, it's not going to be no easy like, oh hey, peace out, Judgment Day. It's gonna obviously he's gonna like.
Oh no, he's gonna feud with him like Edge for the next year and a half.
Jesus,
Damian Priest is
long storytelling,
long-term booking. But yeah, let's.
Yeah, I would say I am at the point where I do feel KO and Sammy need to lose these tag titles because I've been preaching to the choir for too long.
Kevin Owens being out, I feel like the tag team division actually needs the tag team titles. You know what I mean? So
really, tag teams going after a title. Wow, who would have thought that would be necessary?
And I feel like that's another thing too, like with Seth being hurt and stuff like that, or guys being hurt. The tag team division can definitely fill that void as main event. Like it can be in that picture, like, hey, we can kind of put this on back burner, or just have Gunther, who's the IC title, however long he's going to keep it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Be the main event
guy. Main event WrestleMania, so it's like it's definitely possible. So
like there's ways to do it, and there's ways to protect the guys. Especially, I don't feel like they're utilizing the roster to protect guys. Hey, if I got an injury, Seth can't go for like a month. But he can do promos and do that type of thing like that and kind of be around it still. I feel like that's something that they can take advantage of, and they're not right now. But we can go over the picks here. And Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Steel Cage. Me and Brian are going Trish Stratus. Lewis is going Becky Lynch. We're all going Seth Rollins. Lewis has the bonus point if a cash-in happens in that match. And Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. Me and Brian got Raquel Rodriguez by DQ. Lewis has Rhea Ripley. You guys have Rey Mysterio over Austin Theory in the United States title match. I have Austin Theory. We all go LA Knight versus The Miz. And then I have the Judgment Day winning the tag titles, and you guys have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So we'll see how that transpires on Saturday. All Out is on Sunday, I believe, as well. So another action-packed weekend of wrestling. A lot of wrestling to go over again as well, especially next week as we pick it up. We're heading into SmackDown this week, so we're going to see that. And interestingly enough, on this card, no Bloodline. We don't know that, so that storyline has another week to breathe at least, if where nothing's going to happen on SmackDown. No Cody Rhodes on this
Friday.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so I'm actually trying to take a look at. I'm actually trying to take a look at All Out's card right now to see what they announced on that. So they announced on Dynamite that so that Adam Cole and MJF are going to be defending their newly won Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. So apparently on Rampage this Friday there's going to be a tag team battle royal, and the winners are going to face MJF and Adam Cole at All Out.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess apparently now they're going to do a Grand Slam tournament to determine who's going to be the number one contender for MJF moving forward. And I think the winner of that tournament is going to face MJF at their on September 20th at AEW Grand Slam, which is their event that they run at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
We gotta figure that out. So at All Out, basically their inception, their WrestleMania. There's no title match.
I mean, that's what that's what I'm seeing right now. They're defending the tag team titles. Yeah, that's
crazy. That's crazy to think about. It's definitely crazy.
They shouldn't even be doing this back to back anyway, man. I understand. I don't understand Tony Khan's logic.
Where's the TNT Championship? Where's that getting defended?
Is Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus there? I think.
I mean, it's not like a situation where your roster is so big and your stars are so big where you can like separate them between two shows. I mean, Darby Allin is on this show. We just announced FTR and the Bucks are going to be on this show. Now MJF and Adam Cole are on this show. So it's like literally to do it back to back. I mean, if I'm an AEW fan and I can only pick one show, I'm going to pick the Stadium show to order instead of ordering the Chicago show the next week. Yeah. So a lot of these fans that purchase All In, they're not going to, unless they're diehards. Majority of them aren't going to get All Out. You talk about
apparently they have AEW Wrestle Dream October 1st. So it's like, why couldn't they just kind of space this out, or maybe they're trying to use that to build it? I don't know what that's the point.
It's because All Out. It's because All Out, like you said, All Out is kind of technically their WrestleMania on Labor Day. I guess apparently they think they own the holiday now. I mean, around 5 years. I mean, they don't own shit. That's just my opinion. You don't own nothing.
That's tough. That's tough to follow up. And I don't know if that's what is that? Is that All Out's on Sunday, right? I hope there's no football this weekend.
No, football season I think starts next week. No, not this weekend.
Maybe that's why they're doing it. Maybe that's why they're doing it.
Yeah. Out the way. Football season starts.
Get it out of the way before everything.
On Sunday, pay-per-views are going to be kind of hard to come by.
But yeah, just in general,
that's a lot.
WWE's gonna have their own problem too. Their Saturday shows up against college football, so
yeah, they are. Or maybe they're looking at those Saturday night games like which ones are duds, like which ones do we know are duds, and maybe they're trying to play it that way. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. But yeah, we'll go over that next week. We'll see what happens with Payback, All In. I mean, All Out. We're going to see what happens to that. We're going to see if there's any more further developments in the CM Punk storyline. We're going to see how the Bloodline storyline continues to develop. And we'll get back to it next week. Thank you guys for always joining me, as always. And until next time. 1, 2